I was working for local government here in town prior to Lead Life opening, and I was working in with police trying to create positive relationships between young people and police, and we were playing touch football down at the Oval sort of 3 times a week. And when this place opened, we just brought the posse we were working with down at the park up to here and introduced them to Joanna and all of the staff.
A couple of years ago we had a young fella out here, and he, it was sort of when we started to start selling limes, and he said, well, it's pretty obvious who the smart one in my family is. My brother sells ice, my mum sells marijuana, and I sell limes.
Lead Life helped me so much, they just did everything for me. I got my licence and graduated year 10, they helped a lot with that, and there's not really just one thing, it's a lot of things, just being in here and around the kids and just seeing them happy is my main thing, because there's just a lot of things that go on in the world, and just to see them come here and to know they're safe and happy, and that's just my main goal. Because I felt like that when I was a kid, being out in the world, having hard times and that, and then coming to Apollo House, it's just home. I call it home. It's just the place to be.
I love Dubbo, and I want to see it, become a better place, and it's often sad when you hear people only talk about the negative things. Lead Life has sort of been a great grassroots organisation. Some of the really big organisations who get millions and millions of dollars, almost I describe them a little bit like a big cog, but sometimes that big cog doesn't even touch the ground. And Lead Life has sort of been do a lot of the heavy lifting in this community.
We're in an area with a lot of crime and things like that, and sometimes a lot of really poor perspectives on demographics. So we really do. It's great to see that those, barriers are all being broken down.
So we've got our fish program where we go out and we do some environmental work around our local waterways. We do seed collecting, which we're doing a regeneration program. We've also got a food truck, which is our social enterprise. That thing whips out the best coffee in town. It's got some of the best food getting around. And all these things provide opportunity for our kids.
When I started in 2019, we were working out of a small office. We had about 10 kids that could be in that office. We had Channel 9 come in a month into my job, and they funded us, and that was the most substantial amount of funding that we have received to be able to grow in capacity to now be in a new building that we can have 40 young people to be able to do activities to create more job opportunities, and we're just smashing it.
One of the organisations organised us to go over with a group of our boys, and it was probably the thing that was the game changer. It sort of opened up so many doors, and it was really nice to see when they came here. They the way that Apollo House was run, they said they learnt so much from us. So there was this cross-pollination that happened, and looked at what other communities were doing things differently, and your Lake Jellicoe and Moree and all these other towns started to come together and share resources, share ideas. Everyone sort of talk about what we already have, what we can do. That's probably where the magic comes from.
The reason why we come up with these ideas for all the different things that we run is it's a combination of things. It's community need, it's what the kids are interested in, and it's what we think we can pull off. So it's coming in with all that. We try to create our own ecosystem within Down the Tracks. So the fish farming will tie into our fish studies that we do, which the fish can then be used in our food trailer. The produce that we grow can go back through the food trailer, like the seed collecting, those seeds. We're learning about what we can use in our cooking to do some traditional cooking as well. Everything feeds back into Down the Track. So yeah, it's all about creating that kind of ecosystem within the organisation.
And I think it's about, when you get to the top of your game and the need to shift your game, which is why we were doing this for a little while. It gets a bit boring, so then we go and start producing this amazing lime cordial that just makes the best margaritas in the world. And then that gets a bit boring, so now we'll do the, so keep on looking for opportunities and new growth.
Last year when we heard Joe and Lan come and speak at our sales conference, it was, I can probably speak for everyone in the room in saying that it was incredibly moving. And last year I wasn't lucky enough to come out and experience this trip or the year prior, but being here this year has just been, I think it's mostly the chance to understand what it is that they're doing out here that means the most. Because everyone was moved in the room for the sales conference, but actually being here and witnessing and understanding what they are doing, it's been incredible.
Lake Cargelligo has one of the highest rates of domestic violence per capita in New South Wales. So that they're faced with every day, that just makes me want to work harder to provide them with an opportunity that they can support themselves and lead positive and fulfilling lives. We've also, we're very remote with our location. We're like 140 k's from our nearest Woolworths, so we're all alone out here, so we all have to, pitch in together and do what we can to make things happen.
It's a complex one for us because, I'd go broke knowing that kids are okay. So it's a complex business model, I guess. The social impact for us is way more important than making money, but we've spoken about healing is an incredibly important part of the journey for our kids. Like the level of trauma is pretty significant for all of them. I don't think there's any that don't have significant traumas that we need to deal with. I think if you go back to the model of care that we work under, the Circle of Courage, which I think underpins everything when you're doing well. And if we get those things right, we know that we've got a pretty good program and our kids are in harmony and in good balance for a strong future.